Folks, today we are talking about Buccaneers cornerback Zion McCollum, a player who went from overlooked going into his NFL draft in 2022 to becoming a top-tier starting cornerback in the NFL. Now, Zion grew up in Galveston, Texas, and attended Ball High School with his twin brother, Tristan. Fun fact, by the way, Mike Evans is from Galveston, Texas, and also attended Ball High School. Just a fun connection there between two Tampa Bay Buccaneers stars. But anyway, the McCollum brothers both decided that after high school, they would go and play college football at Utah. However, they did end up deciding that they wanted to play closer to home. So the McCollum brothers decided to instead decommit from Utah and go to Sam Houston State. Now, both the McCollum brothers would end up spending their entire college careers at Sam Houston State, and during his freshman season, Zion actually became a starter at cornerback. Then, in his sophomore season, he was named to the first team All-Southland Conference after recording 44 tackles, 8 passes broken up, 3 interceptions during his sophomore season. McCollum was then named to the second All-Team All-Conference as a junior with 3 interceptions, breaking up 11 passes, and that is with missing the final 3 games of the season, by the way, due to injury. During his senior season, he would rack up 46 more tackles and would again be named to the first team All-Southland team during his senior year. It was cut short due to the illness that had been spreading across the United States. However, the Sam Houston State Bearcats did win the 2021 NCAA Division I football championship game. After that, McCollum did decide to stay one more year in college due to that extra year of eligibility because of the illness that had taken place in 2020. So he did return to Sam Houston for a 5th season. In that final year, he had 50 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 3 interceptions, and 8 passes defended. By the way, he was also named to the first team All-Western Athletic Conference. So basically every single year of his college career, McCollum was also starting and getting a lot of success as well. He finished as a 1-time second-team All-Southland, 2-time first-team All-Southland, 1-time first-team All-WAC, and an FCS champion as well. And I do want to say twin brother Tristan was doing some decent things at Sam Houston State as well. He started a good amount of games throughout his time in college. He was a 2-time All-Southland Conference player as well. He was also a part of that championship team that Zion was a part of. Now, going into the NFL draft, there was a lot of different opinions on where Zion McCollum was on a lot of people's boards. Good example, NFL analyst Daniel Jeremiah actually had him ranked as the 9th best quarterback, the 78th overall player in the NFL draft. However, other websites had him listed as the 11th best cornerback, the 88th overall prospect on the big board. NFL analyst Kevin Hansen actually had McCollum ranked as the 14th best cornerback in the draft. Josh Edwards had him ranked as the 15th best cornerback, 107th overall available in the draft. Corey Giddings of Bleacher Report had him as the 21st best cornerback, 161st overall in the NFL draft. However, most people did agree that McCollum would very likely end up being a 3rd or 4th round draft pick in the 2022 NFL draft. Whenever you take a look at his pre-draft measurables, McCollum was one of the best athletic cornerbacks going into the 2022 draft. He was 6'2", 1/8 inches, 199 pounds, ran a 4.33 40-yard dash, a 39.5-inch vertical jump, an 11-foot broad jump, and 15 reps on the bench press. In fact, there were some metrics out there that were having McCollum as the most athletic cornerback ever in terms of pre-draft measurables. So it is safe to say that there was a good amount of hype in terms of the overall athleticism for what McCollum was bringing to the NFL level. However, despite being named as a potential 3rd or 4th round draft pick, the McCollum hype train would not happen until round number 5, 157th overall in the 2022 NFL draft. This is where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would swoop in. They would trade up with the Jacksonville Jaguars to draft Zion McCollum. They would trade a 4th round draft pick in the 2023 NFL draft to get that 157th overall pick, as well as get a 7th round pick in the 2022 NFL draft. Actually, McCollum was the 22nd cornerback selected in 2022. Far lower than what most analysts had him getting drafted at. However, McCollum would not let this slow him down. He actually got into that training camp battling with a lot of different cornerbacks for a backup role. Guys like Ross Cockrell, who had had success recently with the Bucs, D. Delaney, who also had some level of success, and Rashard Robinson were in that mix battling with McCollum. Now, on August 18th, McCollum did suffer a hamstring injury during a practice and would be sidelined for not just the final 2 preseason games of that 2022 preseason, but also for the first 4 games of the regular season as well. However, head coach Todd Bowles did name him as a backup as the 4th cornerback on the depth chart behind Jamel Dean, Carlton Davis, and Sean Murphy-Bunting. Now, McCollum would not make his debut in the NFL until October 9th, 2022. He would only record a couple of tackles in that game, but the Buccaneers did beat the Atlanta Falcons in his debut, which was pretty cool. Then on October 23rd, McCollum did earn his first career start after injuries had been sustained to starters Carlton Davis and Sean Murphy-Bunting. He would get a few tackles in a loss to the Carolina Panthers. The following week, he would get another start and set a season high for his career with 5 combined tackles and his first ever pass deflection in a loss against the Baltimore Ravens. He finished his rookie season with 24 combined tackles, 1 pass defended, 13 games played, and 3 starts. And he did unfortunately earn an overall grade of a 46.3 from Pro Football Focus as a rookie in 22. In 23, you did start to see McCollum get more playing time. Now, he was slated as still a backup behind Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean, but he had moved from the 4th cornerback spot to the 3rd cornerback spot after the departure of Sean Murphy-Bunting. Now, in week 12, McCollum actually set a new career high with 9 combined tackles in a loss to the Indianapolis Colts. Then, in week number 14, he would get another 9 combined tackles and would have 2 passes deflected during a victory against the Atlanta Falcons. Now, he would finish this season with a much better stat line: 68 total tackles, 9 passes deflected, 2 forced fumbles in 17 games, and in 9 starts. His overall Pro Football Focus grade would improve to a 73.3. By the way, the Buccaneers would also make the playoffs in 23. They did make it in 22 as well under Tom Brady, but in 23, they had a winning record at 9-8. McCollum would play in both of the playoff games for Tampa Bay, recording some stats in those games as well. In 2024, last year, McCollum was given yet another opportunity to move up on the depth chart. He was in competition to be the potential replacement for Carlton Davis as the starting cornerback following his departure to the Detroit Lions, where he was traded to. He was battling with a multitude of guys, including Bryce Hall, Tavier Thomas, Josh Hayes, and Keenan Isaac. Todd Bowles officially named Zion McCollum the number 2 cornerback to begin the season, pairing him up with Jamel Dean. On September 15th, 2024, McCollum would set a career high with 4 passes deflected and make his first career interception on a pass of Jared Goff to wide receiver Jameson Williams in a victory over the Detroit Lions. In week number 5, he would set a new career high with 10 combined tackles, also get 2 more pass deflections in a overtime loss against the Atlanta Falcons. He would start all 17 games throughout the 2024 season, would finish with 82 combined tackles, a career high 17 passes deflected, 2 interceptions, and a fumble recovery. He did receive an overall grade of 69.5 from Pro Football Focus, but he was ranked the 54th amongst 222 qualifying cornerbacks in 2024. And folks, the rise for Zion McCollum is not done. He, on September 5th, signed a 3-year, $48 million deal with the Buccaneers with a $35.4 million contract extension. Also, with the fact that the Buccaneers have restructured since the creation of this video Jamel Dean's contract, where he is going to be a free agent after the 2025 season, it's definitely shaping up that McCollum is going to rise yet again to be this team's new number 1 cornerback. So this is a situation where McCollum has just continuously rose and rose and rose through expectations and circumstances. Keep in mind, this is a player that went from being a 5th round draft pick to a number 4 cornerback on a depth chart. The next year, he was a 3rd cornerback. The next year, he was a number 2 cornerback, and now you're looking at a scenario where he's going to be the number 1 cornerback on a football team. Not bad for a 5th round pick who had originally signed a 4-year, $3.98 million rookie contract at the time of his drafting. And I don't want to forget about Tristan McCollum. By the way, just a quick note on him. He actually went undrafted in 2022. He would sign with the Houston Texans, not be there for long, but in 2023 and 2024, he actually signed with the Philadelphia Eagles. He's a Super Bowl champion. He was a part of that Super Bowl team with Philadelphia. So both of these McCollum brothers have had success in some way, shape, or form for their respective teams. Now, as of the recording of this video, by the way, Tristan McCollum is with the Las Vegas Raiders. Zion McCollum is going to be with the Buccaneers for the foreseeable future. But this is such a good example, not just from Tristan, but also especially from Zion in the case of the Buccaneers, of what hard work and determination can get you. Zion McCollum was not guaranteed anything as a 5th round draft pick going into the NFL. Sure, there was a good amount of hype in terms of his overall athleticism and some of his play while at Sam Houston State, but he wasn't coming out of the biggest school in the world. And in fact, teams did overlook Zion McCollum. He was the 22nd cornerback drafted in 2022, a 5th round pick. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, the shelf life of 5th round draft picks in the NFL is not very high. But not only has Zion McCollum survived, he has thrived currently and just consistently working his way farther and farther and farther up the depth chart until today he finds himself as the number 1 cornerback on a Buccaneers roster. He went from being the 4th corner to the next season being the 3rd corner to the next season being the 2nd corner. Now today, not just being the starting number 1 cornerback on this team, but getting himself a shiny new 3-year, $48 million contract with $35.4 million guaranteed. Not bad for a former 5th round pick who was literally battling for a backup roster spot whenever he first came into this league. It just goes to show how important the overall ability of just determination is, right? You need to work hard, and McCollum has done that. He has earned the right to be a number 1 cornerback. He has earned the right to get a 3-year, $48 million, $35.4 million guaranteed contract because he worked for it, and he has grown and evolved over through the years, did not give up, and continued to get better every single season. What do you guys think about Zion McCollum? Let me know your thoughts and opinions about it down in the comments section below. Love to hear it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. And as always, guys, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.